Okay guys, in this video we're going to talk about how to transition from the smash position, where my opponent has one leg in between my legs, to mount. Now I consider the smash position to be one of two positions. You'll see here, sorry, it's okay. Both of Nick's legs are on one side of my body, all right? Neither one of his legs is trapped in between my legs. Many people call this leg drag. I consider it smash because his hips are smashed together. Other times I could have his top leg trapped in between my leg, but it's basically the same thing. It just depends on how I got here. For example, you could take the De La Riva guard as an example. If I chose to stuff and step to dismantle and then go from here to smash, now I have Nick in smash, but his top leg is trapped. On the other hand, if I were to have gone leg drag, you'll see it's basically the same position, but both of his legs are on this side of my body. So in this case, we're going to talk about how to transition to mount when the top leg is trapped. And so what I'm going to do is, what I want is, I'm going to just show you what this looks like, and then I'll break it down. Okay, so let's, oh, sorry dude. Okay. Put ourselves back in this position. There we go. And in this case, I like to go to mount when I've had the acquired inside position with my head. I prefer to go to mount. As opposed to if Nick has a frame in front of my collarbone, then I prefer to go to this side. We're going to talk about going to mount, which I like to do when I'm inside position with my head. So I'm inside position with my head. I want to go to mount, which means I need to access this pot of gold with my right knee. So the first thing I want to do is pummel for tricep control. Now I could just come under the tricep and lift the tricep up and acquire the pot of gold. Or sometimes I have to pummel inside and then over and lift up the tricep to acquire the pot of gold. Sometimes I just cannot get in there. So what I'll do is I'll trap his wrist. Okay, I'll trap his wrist. Let's go from the beginning, okay? In this case, I'm able to come right under, lift up on that tricep, and heavy with my ribs on his thigh, I take my right knee to that pot of gold. And now I'm gonna look to go to full mount. When I do that, I continue to lift up on his tricep as I flatten his back to the mat with my chest, and then my left knee comes up under his armpit and my right foot comes under his butt. It's very important that I lift up on his tricep with my right hand, because I don't want to have gone through all of the work to get here and then in an attempt to go to mount, allow Nick to trap my ankle in between his legs, right here, Sertej, and then be stuck in quarter mount and then having gone so far only to go back. So it's very important that after I access the pot of gold, that I lift up on this tricep and keep my foot far away as I can bring his hips to the other direction so my right foot can come under his butt. Okay? Number two. Inside position of the head. He's not letting me get under, so sometimes I could come over and then under. Access the pot of gold, and the principle's the same. Pull up and then tuck my heel under his butt. Here I have an underhook with my left hand and an overhook with my right hand. All right? But still, it's very easy at this point to transition to arm locks. Finally, if I cannot lift his tricep up to gain space for the pot of gold, what I'll do is, so his elbow's really tight and I cannot get in there, I'll trap his wrist. Oh, sorry, this is not the position. I'll trap his wrist and then with my hand, and then I'll trap his wrist with my knee. You'll notice I have not gone above his elbow. I want to keep it as low as possible, because if I go immediately above the elbow, then as I go to mount, he can take that and throw it over his head. While I can still transition, I'd rather be in mount. So instead what I do is I trap the wrist with my right hand, I trap the wrist with my knee, and then I acquire cross face. And as I drive his back to the mat with my cross face, now I can take mount and my knee is low down on his wrist. Note, you do not get points for the mount for this, okay? But it's still a strong position to be, and from here I can transition to mounted triangles or arm locks.